A new group is popping up at schools across the country, including right here in Nebraska. It's pushing to allow students to carry concealed weapons on campus. They say it's a form of protection after school shootings like Virginia Tech. Do you think students should have that right?
I'm an NRA member. I graded A by the NRA, but no, we don't need guns on school campuses. That's not a protection at that level. It does draw attention, though, to the fact that our schools are out of control when it comes to discipline. That people would think their children need to have a gun to protect themselves when they're in the confines of the brick and mortar that makes up our school. And that's horrendous to think that people actually think their children should be carrying guns. But no, children should not carry guns to school. And also, you can't carry a handgun below a certain age, and I think Nebraska's law on that is well defined.
Yes, we have certain places in our community where we think weapons are inappropriate. Hospital would be one, and schools, I think, clearly would be another. The reality is, handgun laws don't and wouldn't put guns in the hands of students. I might differ with Mr. Neuhaus in one area, though, which is I had a chance to be principal for a day at senior high school earlier this week, and I have to tell you how impressed I was with the fact that it was very much under control, and that the students got along extremely well and were polite. And there was a mixture of all types of individuals in the high school. And never once did I feel threatened, or did anybody that I could tell feel threatened. Handguns would not be a solution to a problem that may not be as severe as some people seem to think it is.
How will the Latino population benefit by voting for you?
I have a proven record of creating jobs, good jobs, and not just at the hospital, also through my involvement with the Economic Development Corporation, understanding what it takes to recruit businesses to a community that create better paying jobs for their families, for them. I come from a family of educators. Education is a priority for me, and education will be important to all families, regardless of their race. I have a proven record of providing quality health services to all in need, and that will continue to be a priority of mine. And I will cut taxes, putting more money in people's paychecks.
I don't think of people as Latinos or any other groups. You're either an American or you're not. You're a Nebraskan or you're not. And so the same things that I do for my family, I'm doing for everyone. And I'm not going to separate into groups because I don't think that's appropriate. I don't think we have special laws for special people or special laws against special people. I think you pass laws that are fair to everyone. I think we need to unify our state. And I think what will do that is my immigration bill, because we do no favor to people of Hispanic heritage when we have illegals here. Because I'll tell you, when people drive down the street and they see a darker skin, they think illegal. And that's unfair to them. That's not why they came to America legally. They came to make a better life. They didn't come to be looked upon as a subgroup. And that's what's happening because we have no control of our immigration. And so we've got to pass laws with everyone in mind.
In the Omaha area, they have experimented this year with a learning community. In Grand Island, since the Grand Island Northwest and Grand Island Public School Agreement expired, there have been numerous annexation issues and other issues. What would you say to Grand Island's public schools and Grand Island Northwest schools becoming a learning community?
I'd like to see a unified district, frankly. There's just no real reason economically to have two districts here in Northwest and senior high. So I'd like to see a unification of those two districts. It'll be a super district. It'll be a great district. Two great high schools in one district. You know, I think our education policy, though, is flawed. We treat everybody as if they're going to go off to college, and they're not. You know, our graduation rate, which we claim to be 87%, isn't 87% because we only count people that get into their 12th grade year as dropouts. Our graduation rate is closer to 70 or 75%. And we have to start taking care of those people that aren't college bound and teaching them vocational skills, technical skills, so that they have a foundation for success in this state. And that will bring employment as well. That's what we need to do with education.
I was talking to the editorial staff of the World Herald the other day, and they were sort of avalanched by the number of interviews they had to do with people who are applying to be board members of that learning community. We don't have a population base, as I understand, the learning community to even consider something like that. But to the credit of both those high schools, they do share back and forth in terms of classes. And students can move freely back and forth. From an educational standpoint, I think it's parents' primary responsibility and right to make decisions about the education of their children. And parents who are involved in making that level of decisions about kids going back and forth from school to school to take classes is the way it should be. And my hope would be, as time goes by, that there will be a regular bleed over between those two groups, and that it will become a common sense thing for those boards to grasp. Right now, I think some of the history is a little too fresh, makes it a little challenging to accomplish that, but I think things are moving in the right direction.
The large bubble of baby boomers are now beginning to retire. What measures do you favor to keep those senior boomers in the state of Nebraska?
We all know that Nebraska is a tax-heavy state, and it disadvantages us in attracting business and industry and good-paying jobs for Nebraska families. It also disadvantages us when it comes to keeping retirees around here. We have to work hard and take a look at cutting both property tax as well as income tax. That will go a long way towards improving it. Healthcare services are one of the ways that we can attract, and making sure that there are quality, accessible, and affordable healthcare services, also one of the ways that we can make this state more attractive. And transportation. When I talk to the elderly, one of the biggest problems are people who end up being homebound for no reason other than it's hard to get around. Transportation, I think, is also one of the solutions that will make this state more attractive. But ultimately, we have to look at the dollars involved in reducing taxes.
Tax code, tax code, tax code. It's very simple. We're one of 7 states that tax Social Security benefits. People have already paid tax on that income. They shouldn't have to pay it again. We lose 2 groups of citizens. We lose them when they graduate, and we lose them when they retire, because we've got a lousy tax code here in Nebraska, and we need to address that. That's why I want to be on the Revenue Committee and the Appropriations Committee. But the Revenue Committee is going to take care of this. We need to end the tax on Social Security benefits and on most retirement benefits. Now, I've heard my opponents say that that's too expensive, but it's not. It's revenue neutral, because those people are going to stay here. They're going to continue to pay their property taxes. They're going to pay sales tax. We need to get rid of that tax.